Hey guys, Mr. Mackey here, and welcome to Numbers Week. We did Algebra Week last week, we did Triangles Week the week before. This week we're going to be doing just random topics on numbers. I've missed it. Now, what I've done is this week I've had a few people ask me if I could go back and do some more extensive topics on percentages, like compound interest. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do for the first 3 days this week, percentages. And for this, I'm going to show you a whole new method on doing percentages, on finding percentages of amounts, and then how to reverse them and so on. But that will be for tomorrow's video. This video will be a nice and quick introduction on the first thing you need to know to understand tomorrow's method. So, let's get into it. We're going to be converting percentages into decimals. Now, once you understand how to convert percentages to decimals, it will become clockwork. It's so simple when you think about it. So I have 49% and I want to turn it into a decimal. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write 49. And then I'm going to put a point for the decimal and then a couple of zeros. You'll know why in a minute. Now, remember what percentages means. A percent means out of 100. So how we find a percentage as a decimal is, all you've got to do is pretty simple. You divide the number that the percentage is by 100. Now we have done this loads of times before, so this should be pretty easy. So we move our decimal point one place to the right because there's 1 0, and then another decimal point to the right because there's 2 zeros in 100. So the decimal point moves to here. What goes in front of that decimal point? Well, a 0. That's what we have to do. All you have to do to find the decimal version of a percentage is you divide that percentage by 100. So 49% as a decimal is 0.49. And that's it. And we divide by 100 even if it may not look like we can. 1%. So remember that percent always means it's out of 100. So what we do is we write our number and we include our decimal point. And then we divide it by 100. So we move one step that way. And then another step that way. And remember, any numbers in front would be a 0. And we put another 0 there. So 1% divided by 100, so turning into a decimal would be 0.01. And it can also be done for numbers that are above 100%, like this one, 123%. So we know that the percentage means out of 100. I'm going to write 123 here with the little decimal point, just so we know where the decimal point goes, so it's easier to lay out. Now let's divide it by 100. We move the decimal point once across and then twice across. Always twice because 100 has 2 zeros. And that's what we have to do. So 123% as a decimal is 1.23. There might be some questions where you start off with 100% and then something's happening to it. And then you have to work out the decimal from that. Let me give you an example. In Britain, we have something called VAT, which means that we have a tax added to the original value of something, which goes to the government, which helps afford things. Now, let's say, for example, and in some countries, the VAT is 17.5%. So what is the original percentage added the VAT as a decimal? So if the original percentage was 100%, and then the VAT was 17.5%, then the total would be 117.5%, because you're adding them together. So let's now find it as a decimal. Remember, the percentage means it's out of 100. I then write 117.5 over here, and then I move my decimal point 2 spaces to the right. So 1, 2. Decimal goes to here. So 117.5% as a decimal is 1.17. That's how you do it. But it's not only increasing where we might have to do it, there might be decreasing. There could be a sale on. Oh, I love a good sale. So there's an item where its original price has been reduced by 12%. What is it now as a decimal? So if the original was 100% and it decreases by 12%, so let's write it over here, 12%, that means the new price is 88%. So let's convert that as a decimal. So we do our, remember, the percent means it's out of 100. Let's write 88 over here, and don't forget the decimal point just so we know where everything is. And then we move our decimal point 2 spaces that way, so it goes here. Because there's nothing in front, we just put a 0 in to make it look neater. And there we go. 88% as a decimal is 0.88. And we're done. It's that simple. Once you do it a few times, it becomes clockwork. It's become clockwork for me, I'll tell you that. So here is your challenge for today. I have 2 percentages here, but we don't know the decimals for them. And we have 2 decimals here, and we don't know the percentages for them. All I want you to do is fill the gaps. Simple as. And we've done this a lot of times, so you should know how to go this way. But you might have to do something different when going the opposite direction. What do you think we need to do? See if you can work it out. Tomorrow we'll be doing a whole new exercise on how to find percentages with the knowledge we have picked up today. Good luck. Let's see how we do.